like, oh, I need to take the other side of this, and I'm going to be the one that says, oh, this guy's selfish.
Yeah, I'm
like,
a hot take guy.
Felt good enough. Like the training staff said, all right, like you're good to go. All right, your calf hurts. Got it. Rick Carlos looks at Tyrese Halliburton and go in the game. It didn't work.
I just think everybody feels like they've got to have such this hot take and opinion because they got a microphone in front of them. And sometimes, sometimes the athlete knows. And sometimes you have to save the athlete from themselves. I think there's that time. I just don't believe that if this was Anthony Edwards, who the media loves and the players didn't vote the most overrated player in the league. Hell, if this was Stephen Curry or LeBron James, I mean, but if this was Jalen Brunson, if this was Paulo Banchero, if this was Victor Wembanyama, I mean, pick your young star up and coming who hasn't won yet, right? And I think because I think whilst maybe it shouldn't play a part of it, I think it does. Situation matters. Fact that dude has not won one before, may never get there again. I mean, I heard coming in today, well, what makes you think they won't be back there next year? Why? Because we've had 7 different champions in a row. I mean, the Celtics were like everybody's pick to get out of the East. Everybody's. They didn't get out of the second round. Now, they lost Jason Tatum, but that series was already lost when Jason Tatum went down. And I got to believe every one of us, if we were Tyrese Halliburton and got to that point, if we were facing a calf injury, yeah, it's slowing me down. Yeah, it hurts. I'm hurt and I might even be injured. But for crying out loud, dude, it's Game 6 of the NBA Finals, for which I've worked my entire life to get to, and I may never get back again. I mean, you're gonna have to carry me off the floor, and I'm telling Rick Carlisle, Coach, you got to pull me. Like I'm gonna go out and give you everything I got. If you don't, it's your call now, because I'm going out and this is what I do, and I got mad respect for the dude, and I don't normally feel sorry for professional athletes. I don't. I'm not certain I feel sorry for Tyrese Halliburton. Don't get me wrong. But I do somewhat feel bad for the situation that he's in, because I feel that Tyrese Halliburton in these playoffs has gone above and beyond to prove himself, has hit clutch shots in key moments. They're not here. They're not in this series without him. Dude is injured, trying to play through it like I think every professional athlete would try. And he is just getting pounded by the national media. Either way he goes. And I don't believe that if this was a guy that the media accepted as being that good, right? And again, I keep going to Anthony Edwards, and I keep going to Jalen Brunson and Victor Wembanyama. If this was, I mean, Nikola Jokic, but he's already proven himself, right? He's already there. Cade Cunningham, right? A guy that you believe is good, where I just think people are trying not to believe their eyes in this playoffs.
I'm right there with you. It's the how are the Pacers here? It was the Cavs, it was the Celtics, like the New York Knicks are going to take over because they're coming in their Eastern Conference Finals. And then the Pacers got there, and it was lucky. Tyrese Halliburton somehow, some way, not that good, but just that guy in the moment.
Yeah, lucky.
And I'm right there with you. If this was any other star, there would not be a question about this guy playing. But for some reason, there's this push, like, oh no, he's going to get hurt. When Kevin Durant popped his Achilles when? How many years ago was that? And we're still like, guy has a sore calf, can't play.
Yeah, I mean, it was a similar situation. I will grant that.
You know how many sore calves there are in the NBA?
All the time, dude. All the time. But it was a similar situation. Game 6, NBA Finals, sore calf. Dude popped his calf, was out for he missed, or popped his Achilles, and was out for an entire season. Like I get the correlation. I do. I don't know that I agree with I would sit him. And again, I'm Tyrese Halliburton. Like take my chance, man. And not because I'm guaranteed money next year, but because I'm not guaranteed I'm ever going to get a chance to play for a championship again. Do you believe Indiana's going to be back in the next 3 years in the finals?
No.
Nor do I.
Not with the way we've seen this league.
Yeah, nor do I.
Bet against it.
Yeah. Yeah. I got two different teams playing for a championship this year, don't I? Oklahoma City didn't make it out of the second round. Indiana didn't make it out of the second round. Oh, no, Indiana made it to the Eastern Conference Finals last year. It was Boston, and it was Denver last year. Who the hell played? It was Boston and
Dallas Mavericks.
Dallas Mavericks. Luka was there. And the year before it was Denver against Boston. And like it's been different every year. And the way the NBA changes and with dudes moving around and with injuries, look, man, I got mad respect for dude. I've earned mad respect for this dude. I've watched him handle all the crap that's been thrown at him, and I think he handles it pretty well. And then you throw in the mess with his dad he's got to deal with as well. Oh, and by the way, he hits big shots. Dude's injured. Yeah, I'll give you that. Well, if he's injured, he shouldn't play, Jeff. And if he's out there, then I expect 100%. Okay, all that is fair. But situation matters. And look, maybe dude throws out one of these iconic, historic games, that we've seen over the years, the Jordan sick games or the, guys, whatever. I remember a situation, and this is way before your time, but I know you've heard about it. But it was different because the team was up 3 games to 2. But it was in, what year was it? I don't know. What was Magic's first year? Was it 80? What was it? Whatever year it was. And Kareem didn't play. He didn't make the trip to Philadelphia for Game 6. Lakers were up 3 games to 2. Kareem was hurt. Magic Johnson started at center and had, 44 points and had that legendary game, which was just unbelievable. Magic was a rookie and just had that legendary game, and they won the championship. But they were up 3 games to 2. If they were down 3-2, I'm certain Kareem would have gone across the country and played. I love your thoughts. 505 what's our number? 505-246-0610. I'm new at this, JJ. It's only been almost 17 years. 505-246-0610. Your thoughts on Halliburton. Should he play? Should he not? Is he getting treated differently than other stars would? If this was Giannis, if this was Damian Lillard, if this was Anthony Edwards, Jalen Brunson, Paolo Banchero, Victor Wembanyama, pick it. Should he play? Will he play? How will he do? Got to go through the Lakers. How about the shock that came down? We're going to get into this next. Midday today, or yesterday. Word comes down, the Lakers are being sold? How the hell did that slip under the radar? What does it mean? It's coming up next. It's the opening drive. Thanks for being with us on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Roswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family. We are one family that share one goal, one opportunity at a time. We are one Eastern.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great race, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Bluebell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
79. Ancient history for some of you, feels like yesterday for others of you, I know. It's all your perspective. Dr. Jerry Buss bought the Lakers from Jack Kent Cooke. Jack Kent Cooke owned the Forum, owned the Lakers, owned the Kings. This deal also included the key. So Jack Kent Cooke sold to Jerry Buss not just the Lakers, but the LA Kings and the fabulous Forum. Now, since then, the Lakers have won 11 championships, most by any team in the NBA during that span. The price tag at the time was $67.5 million. Whoa. And I remember $67.5 million. Now you got dudes in the NBA making that in a year.
That's right.
I mean, it is a little mind-boggling. Now, that was, 46 years ago? Almost half a century ago. But the fact that it changes that much, that a guy now is making in a year what this iconic franchise was sold for 46 years ago. Lakers sold yesterday for a valuation of $10 billion. That's billion with a B. or an increase of $9.33 billion. It's insanity. There's so much crazy about this. It's the opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, J.J. Buck. So the Buss family, of course, Dr. Buss has since passed, is entering into an agreement to sell majority ownership to Mark Walter. Mark Walter is leader of the group that owns the Dodgers as well. JJ, first of all, how did they keep this quiet? Like, these kind of deals, it's like the Luka deal that just came out of nowhere. How do these things not leak in today's world?
I think because no one thought the Lakers were on the market. They just had some elites talking it over and finding a way to slide in that majority ownership.
Sitting at LA Country Club or Bel Air or Riviera, and hey, did you consider selling them? No, not really. Well. How about if you stayed on, Ginny? You stay on as the governor. You continue to run the team for a while. Keep 15% of it. I don't know. How about $10 billion? What? Wait, what? I mean, everybody's got a price, right? There's brands in sports. Do you agree, Lakers? It's like, Lakers, Yankees, whether you like it or not, Cowboys.
No doubt about it.
Probably
Absolutely.
Manchester United, right? I mean, there's brands, right? This is one of those elite brands, correct?
Yes, it is.
Celtics sold for like 6-something billion, 6-point-something billion last year. And the fact that this is valued at $4 billion more, $3.5 billion more, is insane. So the Buss family keeps a minority share, about 15% for a period of time, according to the reports. Jeannie remains the Lakers governor. She runs the team for a while. With the knowledge, Ramona Shelburne, ESPN LA, broke the deal. It was guaranteed as part of the agreement that Jeannie would remain in charge for the foreseeable future, and evidently the Walter family fully endorsed this plan. So Walter, this guy is the CEO and chairman of a diversified holding company, TWG Global. Right? He's been a stakeholder of the Lakers since 2021. He purchased 26% of the Lakers from Phil Anschutz. So it's not like he's got to put the whole thing out, JJ. It's like, he's already in for whatever. I mean, if you got a few billion laying around. And then, so he got, at the time, Walter, the guy who just bought it, received a right of first refusal on the majority share of the team. So if they were ever going to sell, he had a right of first refusal to match it or whatever. Same groups got interest in the Dodgers, the Sparks, Chelsea, the Premier League, the Professional Women's Hockey League, TWG Motorsports. He owns auto racing teams. I mean, like money that, like, what do you do with money, right?
Yes.
And this is beyond FU money.
And this is one where it doesn't mean, again, there's a salary cap in the sport, that the Lakers are going to go out and be able to buy everyone. But when they get players, they can afford the luxury tax bill if they are so inclined to go that direction.
That's correct. You got to believe Magic Johnson will be part of this again, right? Magic Johnson's part of the ownership group of the Dodgers. And will he be part of the day-to-day of the Lakers? I don't know. I don't know that anybody knows. I think there's an assumption that he might be. Evidently, Luka Doncic was given a short heads up on this agreement. Like, it didn't just hit him. He was told, hey, this is coming. Because he's got to make a decision if he wants to stay there long term. Magic is a business partner. Is close to Jeannie Buss. Evidently, he endorsed the move on social media. He said the Laker fans should be ecstatic. He posted, quote, Mark Walter is the best choice and will be the best caretaker of the Laker brand. The proof is in the pudding on what he's been able to accomplish with the Dodgers. Mark has been nothing short of a winner, notching 2 World Series and 11 NL West division titles in the past 12 years. And that was his post. Obviously, dude will spend money. If you look at his track record as an owner of the Dodgers, I mean, pretty good, right? I'm stunned that they sold the team. That's all. I'm stunned that for the majority of my life, certainly since 1979, the Buss family has owned the Lakers. And this is going to be interesting. This is really, dude just may own LA for crying out loud.
And when you look at it from the Buss family's perspective, was there a next generation willing to take over or wanting to take over?
Totally fair. Totally fair. You know, I mean, do you want to do this every day? Do you want to hand it down to the kids? Or, I don't know, man, there's $10 billion there. Want to split it up? It's pretty crazy. He's estimated to have more than $325 billion in assets. So, it's crazy. 46 years, though, Lakers been in control of the Buss family. That was the longest. Herb Simon brought the Pacers in 1983. That's the second longest ownership group, and now it'll be the longest ownership group in the NBA. So, Laker fan, I almost look at this as a good thing. And to Magic's point of the proof being in the pudding, if this is the guy who's been running the Dodgers, or at least owning the Dodgers, and hiring people, and I mean, the Dodgers are a pretty good blueprint of how to run an organization over the last decade plus, right?
Yeah, so when he took over the Dodgers, it was maintained for about 3 years. GM, manager, and then that's when they made the move. Brought in the GM from Tampa Bay to take over, brought in Dave Roberts, and then just went nuclear.
Was Don Mattingly the manager before Dave Roberts?
Yes.
Feels like a long time ago. All right, so you can get in on that as well, but Laker fan, I know you're there. I know you're out there. 505-246-0610, you can get in on that. The hoist of the cup, it is the most treasured trophy in sports, and it is now damaged by those knuckleheads. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
This report is brought to you.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Blue Bell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Roswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family. We are one family that share one goal, one opportunity at a time. We are One Eastern.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks. Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own
team. Because I don't know if you remember the original Dream Team back in '92. They had all these professional players, and they decided to honor the college players, to have one college player, and that Christian Laettner on that team with Magic Johnson and Larry Bird and Patrick Ewing and all these other greats, right?
Yeah.
And I was old enough to watch. I'm 58 years old, so I was old enough to watch that Dream Team, but I don't remember anybody ever talking about about Christian Laettner, other than he was on the team. But I hope Tyrese plays well tonight. Here's what if he does play and they win the game, think about the drama that's now going to be written. I have family in Indianapolis, and it's the whole woe is me. Nobody ever gives us respect because we're a small market team, blah, blah, blah. And they always play with a chip on their shoulder. Now they go into Game 7 with a hurt, Tyrese Halliburton, and it would just build more drama for that Game 7. So I'm rooting for Indiana no matter what. But if they win, and it'll be interesting to see how the story's going to be written for the 7th game. And then finally, on the I'm kind of sad to see the Lakers, the Buss family, selling. They always provided their own amount of drama, right? I mean, back in the 80s and 90s, it was Phil Jackson and Jenny Buss dating, and you go back even further than that, nobody had better wilder parties or good times than Mr. Buss, and so it's an end of an era. So I do hope that Magic is involved in the next group, and I imagine he will be because he's part of the Dodgers. He's a part owner in that, and he's really the face to me of the Lakers anyway. If you ask me who my GOAT is, and when it comes to the NBA, it's always been Magic Johnson. He's just my favorite player of all time. So the torch will get passed, and we'll see what it looks like.
That's great.
But I appreciate you guys taking my call.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for calling. Thanks, Miguel. It is weird, and if you grew up with the Lakers, and I did, and I remember those teams, and it's going to be weird that the Buss family doesn't own the club. 46 years, man. I mean, it's what all of us. I don't know how many of you remember Jack Kent Cooke owning the team. As far as the Stanley Cup, Sherman, the Stanley Cup is named after Frederick Arthur Stanley, Lord Stanley of Preston. He was the 6th Governor General of Canada. So this trophy, he donated the trophy back in 1892 to be awarded to the top amateur hockey team in Canada. It's theirs. The trophy was initially called the Dominion Hockey Challenge Cup, but it became commonly known as Lord Stanley's Cup, later shortened to the Stanley Cup. So it's Canada's, man. And they haven't had it in like 36 years. But it's their damn cup.
And they've been trying hard to get it back.
Yeah. Commissioned in 1892 as the Dominion Hockey Challenge Cup. And this week, it's in bars all over Fort Lauderdale getting bounced around. All right, 505-246-0610. Keep them coming. Top of the hour, 8 o'clock. I'm going to get into a little Diego Pavia comments because, well, Diego's been talking and people seem to listen. There's a lot of college football stuff going on as we get closer and closer. If you want to get in on the NBA tonight, I love your thoughts. Does Tyrese play? How well will he play? And should he play? Want your thoughts. Should you call IPS? Yes, you should. It's affordable private security. I've trusted them for years to watch my home. You see them all over town. Why are they everywhere? Because they're making a difference in our community. Because they're keeping the bad guys away. Because there's an officer shortage and property crime continues to be an issue, and because if you wait until you're a victim, it is then too late. IPS is everywhere. They will provide standing guards. If you want eyes on your property around the clock, they'll offer you that. If you need them to install alarms and camera systems, they will do that. They have a state-of-the-art facility monitoring those cameras 24/7. It raises the level of security around your home or business. Look, they come by every day. Randomly, I'll be out doing something, and there's the officer there. When I was traveling most recently, I had a package delivered. They picked it up off my porch, so somebody else didn't. So it didn't sit there for a few days, and they delivered it for me when I got back. They'll roll out the garbage cans on garbage day. They'll pick up newspaper and mail. They do exterior checks. Call IPS. Talk to them about what they can do for you. I firmly believe in what they do, and I know you will as well. 505-897-2420. 505-897-2420. They're on IPSglobal.com. Passionate about making Albuquerque a better and safer place to live.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Roswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family. We are one family that share one goal, one opportunity at a time. We are One Eastern.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat.
It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, J.J. Buck. Look out now. Oh, look out now. They're going to screw this whole thing up. Are they not going to be the historically worst team ever in baseball? They've won 4 in a row. Rockies won 3-1 yesterday in Washington. I think the Nationals have lost like 11 in a row now. Yankees have lost 6 in a row. And what's going on in the world? Yankees have lost 6 in a row. Rockies have won 4 in a row. Is my world upside down?
No, baseball is so long.
It is. And so you have streaks. They're only 20 and a half games back now. 29 and 45. No, that can't be right. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong thing. 17 and 57. Yeah, that's still pretty bad. Yeah, that's still really, really bad. But hey, 4 in a row, man. Are you rooting for them to be the worst ever, or is it like I just don't want to win?
It's kind of rooting for them to be the worst ever.
Are you? Just because I mean, if you're gonna
be bad, if you're gonna be historically bad, and be the worst ever.
Yeah, if you're gonna get dirty, I imagine. All right. The Yankees have lost 6 in a row. They're still in first place by a game and a half in the American League East. They hadn't scored in like 30-something innings. They finally scored last night. The Angels beat them 3-2. So the Yankees have a game. I don't know. It's about that time, and what are we, like 2.5 weeks away from the All-Star game where you start looking at standings? Some of you, and it's the first time. I don't know if you know the Tigers have a 9-game lead in the Central. and that the Tigers have the best record in the American League, and that the Tigers might be the best team in the American League, but they're really good. Yankees lead the East by a game and a half. Tigers by 9 in the Central. Houston 5.5 better than the Astros in the American League West. Mets lead the National League East by a game over the Phillies. The Cubs have a 6.5 game lead over Milwaukee and Cincinnati in the Central. The Dodgers are 4.5 games better than the Giants in the National League West. And you're going to start hearing come early, about 2 weeks from now, you're going to start hearing about trade deadline stuff. You're going to start hearing about, all of these the baseball trade deadline usually is pretty dramatic, right? There's usually a lot of movement there.
You do get a lot of pieces.
Yeah. What's your favorite story in baseball so far this year, aside from the Rockies being historically bad? Mine's the Tigers. And the resurgence, and it's not just like it happened this year because they were good last year, but and maybe because I've got more attention on that area of the country than I ever have. But the resurgence of sports in that town where the Pistons are good, the Lions are really good, and I just don't think that people understand how good the Tigers are. I think the Tigers might be able to represent the American League World Series.
They were an 86-win team last year, but that was only good to tie for the Royals second in that division. So they've taken a huge step this year, already 47 and 27 overall. And we kind of see that in 2-year spurts from teams that go from young to good, because I look at a team, and one of the biggest storylines to me is the Orioles in last place.
That's fair. Totally fair.
We thought they were that team. Like, okay, this is going to be some consistency, a lot of young talent, and they're in last place in the American League.
Yeah, I think that's completely fair. And the other one's got to be the Cubs to me, right? It's been a minute, and there they are, and they came out of the gates strong. They're 6.5 games clear of the pack in the National League Central. That fan base is as loyal and as passionate as anybody. I believe they lead the major leagues in run differential at plus 107. They hit, they pitch, they've been consistent. That's the other. Those are the two. I mean, those two Midwestern teams for me. I mean, I don't think it's out of the realm. Cubs Tigers World Series.
No, the Cubs have some talent come up. They spent a lot of money over the last couple of years, and it's paying off. The Kyle Tucker acquisition was huge. What they've done with the pitching staff, and why they're a few strides ahead of everyone else in the division.
Baseball tonight, we got it here on the Sports Animal. Do we have college baseball today? We've been having the College World Series on for you. The final teams left. No, there is no baseball today in the College World Series. It's going to be LSU and Coastal Carolina. LSU with a 3-run ninth inning. It was dramatic yesterday, the way they came back on Arkansas. And there have been some big defensive gaffes in the World Series of college that led to big innings. But LSU scored 3 in the ninth, beat Arkansas yesterday, 6-5. So they move into the College Baseball World Series final series. They will play Coastal Carolina out of the Sun Belt. Coastal beat Louisville 11-3. Coastal, who won the championship in 2016, has won 26 games in a row. Let that sink in baseball for you. Kind of crazy. And when we get back, Diego Pavia on NIL deals and owning the state of Tennessee, and, well, just Diego Pavia. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
Up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, Malts and floats made with your favorite Blue Bell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in
0.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal. Here's Jeff Zimbietta and JJ Buck.
Well, you get the NBA Finals could come to an end tonight. We will see. It is Game 6 in Indianapolis. Basketball State USA, they say. It is the Thunder with a 3-2 lead over the Pacers. Hallie, yes, or Hallie, no, is what I asked you yesterday. Will he play? Tyrese Halliburton, he will attempt to play. I think we're all somewhat certain of that. How well will he play? And we had a conversation earlier, and you were happy to jump in on this. Or you're happy. We're happy to have you jump in. And I thought Miguel's comments on this was good. Is Tyrese Halliburton being treated differently by the national media than other superstars or other stars would be in this situation? Dude is hurt. Dude is injured. But he's being scrutinized like crazy. But if this was Anthony Edwards or Luka Doncic or Victor Wembanyama or anybody else, would he be treated differently? Talk a little baseball. Steve from Michigan says, hey, Jeff, when your daughter goes back to school in September, if it works out, go to a Tiger game together. Ann Arbor's pretty close to Detroit. In fact, I'm working on that trip now to get her back there. And I got to go 2 weeks in a row, JJ. So I'm going to go. I got to move her in, come back, and then we're going to go back out for the Michigan-New Mexico game. The weekend of the Michigan-New Mexico game, they're on the road. But I'm going to go in on it looks like I'm going in on a Wednesday night. They play Wednesday day off on Thursday. I may have to extend that trip and go to the game Friday night. It'll be Tigers and Kansas City and just stay an extra day. But I'm working on that one, Steve, and I appreciate that. But that almost feels worth it, right? She'll probably say, I don't know, Dad, I'm back at school first night, party. There's a party at the frat club. And I need to, you think she'll hang out? By the time I'll get her back to Ann Arbor in time to go out, right? You think she'll go to a ball game with her dear young dad? Time's the game start. I mean, she should, right? It's a Friday night, 5:10. No, it's a 7:10 game. Yeah, I should buy the tickets right now. All right, 505-246-0610. Emails come in this morning, as they always do. Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com. JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. On the X, it's _JJ Buck, and on the Facebook, the OD and the AM, you can watch the show. Adrian's producing there. All right, JJ, I want to hit this audio. Diego Pavia is not just Albuquerque's Diego Pavia anymore. He's not just former New Mexico State quarterback Diego Pavia. Diego Pavia is, I don't want to say the biggest star in the SEC, but maybe the biggest name in SEC football this year. Like, is there somebody right now in the SEC that is more recognizable around the country as far as I know who that is? I mean, who's Alabama's quarterback? Tennessee?
Around the country, Diego Pavia is in the running for that. Right?
He's become that dude by what he says, but really more so he put himself in that position by what he does, how he wins football games. And he's been very vocal. So he was on Bussin' with the Boys. It's a podcast. And you have this ready to go? How would you set this up? Was just talking about the rivalry?
And he's bouncing around. So Bussin' with the Boys, it's former, it's Will Compton, Taylor Lewin, former NFL guys that played at Michigan and Nebraska. And, it's just a podcast. They're chopping it up, and they were talking about, were you close to leaving because of NIL?
Yeah, and there was that report that he was offered a bunch of money, and here's what Diego had to say about that.
How much after the year was the portal blowing up for you on potential teams wanting you to come be the quarterback for them at a different school?
A lot. It was less
nuts.
it was less reaching out to me. It was more reaching out to my brothers and my family and stuff.
Was there a dollar amount that you heard that was holy?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm supposed to share, but anywhere from 4 to 4.5.
Damn.
To leave and go somewhere else.
To leave.
What conference?
SEC.
Checks out.
In conference.
Any Big Ten teams trying to get you?
You want to play with the best. You don't want to play with the Big Ten.
$4.5 million.
I don't know if I'm supposed to say this. Of course you're going to say that. Of course you want to say that.
So then what's he making of Andy? Right, Diego played 2 years junior college. Diego played 2 years? Or 2 at New Mexico State and 1 at Vanderbilt. So this will be his 6th year in college football. He said Vanderbilt's going to run Tennessee this year, after this year. This is going to be the new staple of college football. It's going to happen here at Vanderbilt. Everyone wants to come to Tennessee because of Nashville. He's not wrong. So they want to come to Nashville. So Vanderbilt. And then when we have the most money in NIL, why not come here? We literally just have to win this year, and throughout the rest of the year, we'll take care of itself. Have you ever been there? So Broadway, Nashville, right down by the river. You just go up Broadway about 2 miles. It's up the hill. You can make the walk. You hit Vanderbilt's campus, which is flat out gorgeous. They redid the stadium. They're still redoing. I don't know if they finished it by now. It's a private school. It's a highly prestigious academic school. There's a lot of money there. It's one of those places where I always wondered why they don't win in football. And it is kind of crazy that it's, I don't want to say taken this young man to win, but maybe this young man has taken them to win, right? He's brought them to the fact that they were beating Alabama and Auburn, the fact that yeah, dude, this guy's been the difference.
He injected a life into the offense with swagger, and combined with the coaching staff and the New Mexico State ties that have elevated Vanderbilt football to places that you're not expecting headlines from the football team, and that's what you've seen.
Yeah, no, it's just insane. All right, 505-246-0610. Let's go to Southern California. We've been to Phoenix today. Let's go to SoCal. Bruin James, you're on the Sports Animal. Good morning, James.
Good morning. It's Laker James today.
Oh, is it? Did you buy the club?
Changement to Laker James.
Did you buy the club?
Just a little comment on the Lakers being sold, and man, it's kind of hits you below the belt there, but because you've been a Laker fan with the Buss family for so, I mean, watching the NBA on tape delay, and then all of a sudden you watch they're in the forefront, they're on the prime time, and then the Lakers and the Celtics leading that way, and then you had Michael Jordan come in and making the NBA what it is, and then the Lakers being sold today or yesterday for $10 billion. Kind of like losing a family member. Like the Buss family and stuff like that, and you always seen the Buss family somewhere around there, but it's a good thing though, because new blood come in, and what the Dodgers are doing, and it's just going to be, we'll see what happens.
Hey,
it's
James,
going to be kind of exciting.
James, so what is the feeling in LA? Like, because it's not like somebody from out of town, somebody that you guys don't know, came in and bought the Lakers. It's a group that owns the Dodgers. Magic Johnson is part of that group. It's a group that's proven they'll spend money. The Dodgers have been, a model franchise basically since this guy and his group took over. So what is the feel in LA about this?
It's just, the feel is just like, we didn't sell to somebody out of town or nothing. These guys are here. They know the pulse of SoCal, and it's like, again, it's exciting because what they've done with the Dodgers, you know what I mean? And so, we're like, all right, okay, now, we're going to see what happens. It's exciting now. And it's going to be, like I said, it's going to be awesome, man. See what happens, It's going to be, and then Jeannie Buss is still going to be there. So,
right.
But, it's exciting. I mean, it's like a buzz going on. It'd be probably different if they sold to somebody
100%.
from another place, but this is all in, and this is all people. Magic Johnson and them. He's going back to Staples Center, or whatever you want to call it, center nowadays. I just call it Staples. That it's easier to do that, and it's going to be exciting. Giannis is next, baby. We'll sign Giannis and give him a little island in the Caribbean or something like that for whatever.
Island in the
we'll sign him next. That'll be awesome. Yeah. All right, guys, you guys have a good one.
All right,
Take care.
Yeah, I'm interested in that. Look, that's. I think Laker fan would feel if it was somebody completely unknown, right? Somebody that just dropped in from somewhere else. But I just firmly believe that because it's someone that you're familiar with, someone with a proven track record in Los Angeles, I don't believe it's as catastrophic as maybe it would have been if it was, for people, if it would have been somebody from somewhere else. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
All right. If you want, and Laker fan, I know you're everywhere. Laker fan, you can get in on this. The Buss family owned that club for 46 years. In that time, the most successful franchise in the NBA, certainly. More championships than anybody else. And you can argue the most successful franchise in American sports over that time, 4.5 decades. How do you feel about it? All right, I want to get into some NFL stuff when we get back as well. Defense leads to offense for the Broncos maybe a little bit. Is it going to be a game of darts in New York? There's a lot of stories coming out of National Football League camps. We'll get into some of those when we get back. 505-246-0610. You're welcome to get in as well. You got a jeweler? You've been looking for one? Do you even think you need one? You might not even know you want to have a jeweler. I didn't. I just stopped by John Thomas Jewelers. I was introduced to John one day, and they are my jewelers. They're the best jewelry store in town, period. And now they're running a deal for you that you just can't pass up if you are getting engaged. It is something called the no regrets ring. What does that mean? Well, if you're getting engaged, like we all do, you want that perfect ring, the one that she's going to love forever. But how do you know she's going to love it before you give it to her? Well, John Thomas Jewelers has created the no regrets ring. So any ring you buy from them, and you can design a ring there. And by the way, when you go there, they've got 3,000 engagement rings right now, men's and women's on hand. But you can design something, and as you design it, and they'll help you, and they'll walk you through it, you'll see it in 3D. They will print you a 3D printed wax version of that ring. So you can look at the detail before they make it out of precious metals. So you want to make some changes, they'll do that. But then even better, when you buy the ring, if she wants something different, you got a year to exchange that ring after you propose. No penalty, even on custom-made rings. Plus, their rings come with a free lifetime nationwide warranty. Their diamonds are hand-selected by John and their staff in Antwerp, Belgium, which is the diamond capital of the world. That means they are the best, clearest, brightest diamonds that you can buy. The No Regrets ring. It's exclusively at John Thomas Jewelers. You got to check this out. If you're looking for a watch, a set of earrings, a necklace, I mean, anything you can think of, John Thomas Jewelers is your spot. I love this place. Visit them on the third floor of the Lewis University building. It's on Louisiana, 1 block south of Manal. See why they've been voted the best jeweler in Albuquerque for 4 straight years and one of America's coolest jewelry stores. It's John Thomas Jewelers, where Albuquerque gets engaged.
They support.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Roswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family. We are one family that share one goal, one opportunity at a time. We are One Eastern.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I've ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico.
NFL camps will soon be open for real. Yeah, the mini camps. Camp of the mini variety. Yeah, they're different. You get mini donut, it's good, but it's not the same as a full donut. Like mini golf is cool, but it's different than real golf. But it's still fun. What mini is better than the real deal?
Mini golf is up there, man.
You like mini golf better than golf? Stuff. All right. Mini Cooper better than a real Cooper? Like, what's the full Cooper? I don't even know. I just know that the mini
Countryman.
Cooper. The Countryman, but it's still a mini, right? Minnie Mouse, is she better than Mickey Mouse? I mean, maybe. Mini camps are going. All right. Broncos coach Sean Payton. Are the Broncos going to take they're so interesting to me. And again, we go in the NFL every year, and this is one of the beauties about the National Football League, okay? Every team's got intrigue. There's a story with every team. You don't hit that with baseball. You don't go in to every year go, you know what, the Guardians are really interesting. You know what, I can't wait to see the Royals. The Angels are no, you don't. But you do in the NFL. Every team's got intrigue. And I'll tell you why the Broncos intrigue me so much. Because they finally made progress last year. They have the longest playoff drought of anybody in the NFL. Correct?
Yeah.
Until last year. Bo Nix came along. Bo Nix was way better than anybody thought Bo Nix was going to be. All of a sudden, Sean Payton can coach again. Right? Sean Payton said recently that he thinks his team can have what he says, quote, a real good defense, end quote, this season. And he thinks his quarterback, Bo Nix, is going to be one of the key beneficiaries of that. Quote, we're trying to put together the best team we can. No kidding. Huh. And I hear what's said, I understand the questions, but there are a lot of ways to help a young quarterback, any quarterback. A good defense helps a quarterback. Okay, he's not saying anything we don't know that. The Broncos on defense in free agency signed Talona Hufanga. They signed Dre Greenlaw. They prioritized defense in the first round with Jahade Barron. Is that how you say it? Jahade Barron? Their defense was good, I thought, last year. They're interesting to me because now there's expectations there. This is why they intrigue. You went into last year and it was like, oh, man, here we go again. All right, they're going to try this thing with this quarterback for a couple of years, and they're going to be buried for, oh, wait, dude's really good. Holy bleep. Okay, now, it's amazing how quickly the quarterback changes the trajectory of the franchise, correct? And so now, like, I don't know if you think you got a better roster than the Steelers or not, or if you think you got a better roster than the Browns or not, but you feel better at quarterback, and so all of a sudden there's expectations. They made the playoffs last year. That's why they intrigue me. Do you buy into this? Well, we're trying to put together the best football team we can. Thanks, Coach.
No, the defense stuff is fascinating, actually, because you think Bo Nix and you think immediately they just pour everything into the offense. Rookie quarterback, let's go sign a wide receiver. There's a ton of talk about them trading up in the first round and drafting a tight end. making a big-time signing at wide receiver. So this is Sean Payton, the offensive genius, the guy that was brought in, fixed Russell Wilson, didn't like him anyway, so he moved on. So he attached his wagon to Bo Nix. And you're like, all right, this dude does know something. And yet this offseason was all about the defense. Because that is, along with quarterback, like that will keep you competitive.
And I thought they were good defensively.
They were. And they're... I think now when you look at going against a Patrick Mahomes, Herbert, that you expect a spark from the Raiders, this will allow you to go through some of the bumps in the road that are going to come with a sophomore quarterback.
So instead of getting a rookie tight end, they got Evan Ingram, which I think is a nice upgrade. If they can stay healthy at receiver, to me, they have been, over the last, 3 or 4 years, as snake-bit at wide receiver as anybody I can think of in the NFL. Am I wrong on that? As far as injuries are concerned? It feels like their dudes are always down. They still have Courtland Sutton as the number one. I don't know how you feel about Vele and Mims. And then they've got a rookie running back in R.J. Harvey that they took in the second round out of Central Florida, who they believe can be a guy in this league that really carries the mail. We'll see. You think the Broncos will do what this year?
Be in a team that wins 10 to 11 games.
Ooh.
And could make a push to win a division title.
Wow. Okay. I think they're a 9-ish win team, 8 to 9, and fighting for the final wild card spot. Why do you think that? Well, I think Buffalo, whoever wins the North. I mean, you got 4 guaranteed spots, right? And I think until somebody beats Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes, I still think they're going to win the West. So who are my next 3 teams? And I got the Broncos and the Chargers, and I'm going to throw the Raiders in there. And assuming Baltimore wins the North, I got Cincinnati and Pittsburgh in this mix, and I think Miami and New England are going to be in the mix. And I think whether it's Jacksonville or Houston, whichever one doesn't win is going to be in the mix. 3 of those teams get in, and everybody doesn't. Everybody else doesn't. I think the fight for the AFC wild card is going to be pretty gnarly this year.
I agree with you. I think 11 that's way pushing it expectations, but that's if they start 5-2.
If they start 5-2, and they start out with the Titans and the Colts, then they get the Chargers, Bengals, Eagles, Jets, Giants, Cowboys. That would be their first set. That's interesting. All right. There's intrigue in New York, too, with both teams, but certainly with the Giants. They drafted Jackson Dart, quarterback out of Ole Miss. He's set to compete in his first offseason program this week. He's behind both Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston. I got to believe Russell Wilson starts opening day there. Who's the number 2 quarterback there? Is it Jameis?
Jameis Winston.
So Jackson Dart is a first-round pick, but he's your third-string quarterback. How long before they figure out what they got? Because if they start out, let's just say 2-5, right? I know some of you believe in Russ. I just don't. But they start out with 2 on the road at the Commanders and at the Cowboys. They come home, finally get a home game, and they get the Chiefs. Then they get the Chargers. They got to go to New Orleans. Then they get the Eagles and Broncos and 49ers. Like, their schedule, they're not better than maybe one team in that first 8, right? Maybe they're better than the Cowboys. We'll see. That'll be really interesting. How quick are they to pull the trigger? Head coach Brian Dable said yesterday that Jackson Dart's been impressive in his short time as a pro. Quote, he's done excellent. He's picking up the information. It's really good to have Russ and Jameis and even Tommy, because Tommy DeVito has been in the system for a few years here, and it's kind of the head statesman in terms of that and all the adjustments that take place through the calls. He's aggressive with the football, which I like, and then the true test will be once we start and there's live hitting in preseason games, things like that, but he's progressed since he's been here to where he is now. He's made good improvement. All right, quote, end quote. I mean, good thing fourth-string Tommy DeVito's helping him out.
The combination of first-round quarterback, but then essentially starting as QB3, it's fascinating because does that give Daboll that much more runway? Are they an ownership group kind of taking a step back and going, hey, we are giving you multiple years with Jackson Dart? Because they brought in 2 veteran guys that are one-year plays.
I got to believe he's running short on runway, right? He was coach of the year, and they've been terrible since.
But then why would you build the quarterback room this way?
Because I don't think that they believed that they were going to get a quarterback in the first round, then Jackson Dart was sitting there. I don't know, to be honest with you, and that's on Joe Shane, who's the general manager. I don't know. I mean, you brought in Russ. The Russ thing blows my mind, and I'm sorry. It didn't work in Denver. It didn't work in Pittsburgh. Somehow it's going to work in New York. Everybody thinks he's going to be the Russell Wilson of 12, 13 years ago that went to the Super Bowl.
Well, what do you expect? He got the Steelers to the playoffs.
Okay. And by the way, Justin Fields got him out to what, a 4-0 start?
No.
What was the start that Justin Fields got him out to?
Yeah, Justin Fields won games. But, no one is expecting Russell Wilson to be Aaron Rodgers of 2 years ago at this point. Like when they're like, oh, bringing this guy in.
Well, then what are you expecting him to be? A stopgap?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. So you're going to start Russell Wilson. But my point is, if I look at your schedule, man, are you beating the Commanders? Let's say you beat the Cowboys and you beat the Saints. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You start out 2 and 7. At what point are you saying, all right, man, let me see what I got? Do I have my quarterback in the future? Because the back end of your schedule, I mean, is it easier? Bears, Packers, Lions, Patriots, Commanders, Vikings, Raiders, Cowboys. I mean, who are you better than? Maybe you're better than the Saints. Maybe you're better than the Cowboys. Now, if Russ starts out and you start beating these teams, you beat the Chiefs, you beat the Chargers, you beat the Commanders, all right, I'm wrong. I just don't see it, man. I like you said, I get what the numbers are, and you're not wrong on stats. The stats are legitimate. They are real. The numbers are absolute real. My eyes tell me Russell Wilson is super limited. Now, you're going to tell me so are the Giants and their roster, and so maybe you save the kid for a year and have him learn behind the veterans, and I can listen to that as well. But is Brian Daboll and
Russell Wilson's a 500 quarterback over the last years. I don't think the Giants signed Russell Wilson expecting this. Wow, I think they said, all right, we want a plan to not have to throw everything on Jackson Dart early.
All right, when we get back, Shedeur Sanders is in the news. Did he go to the University of Georgia? Wait, no, it was Colorado, right? Why is Shedeur in the news? It's next. The opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
That have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Blue Bell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub. official sandwich of ProView Networks.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gala Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Boswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family. We are one family that share one goal, one opportunity at a time. We are one Eastern.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed clubs. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Roswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family. We are one family that share one goal, one opportunity at a time. We are One Eastern.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Industries is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Blue Bell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Everguard.
They've been doing it for a long, long time in this market and beyond. A family-owned and operated company that is local. They specialize in professional landscape construction, maintenance, cleanups, irrigation, design, synthetic turf, walls. You need it. LaBarge is your answer. How's your yard looking? And look, find your blind spot. Whether you just don't have time, you don't want to, you're not good at it, maintenance, repair, redesign, your backyard could be your oasis. It should be, right? Or even your front yard. Your front yard should look great. I need a cleanup. I need my sprinkler system overhauled. I need some help. And that's why I called LaBarge. Talk to them about their professional landscape and construction, maintenance, pavers, concrete, irrigation, fencing, fire pits, cleanups. I really like what they do. I know you're going to like them. You can book a free estimate appointment. You can avoid all the rush. Get online. Take a look at what they do. Go to LaBarge, L-A-B-A-R-G-E, LaBargeLandscape.com. Go on the website. Look at what they do. You can book there, or you can call them at 505-345-3000. Area code 505-345-3000. Take care of the yard. You're not going to do it. And even if you do, you're not going to do it as good as they can. Whether your project is small or large, the answer is easy. It's LaBarge Landscape.
This report is sponsored by Dairy Queen. Hurry in to DQ for their soft.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Everguard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Everguard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Blue Bell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience.
Buck, 505-246-0610. Emails Jeff at sportsanimallabq.com and JJ at sportsanimallabq.com. Richard said JJ's organization, Jeff, is one of the hottest teams in the country. Yeah, we talked about it a little earlier. Rockies have won 4 in a row, JJ. 4 in a row. Beat the Nationals last night, 3-1. Washington has lost 11 straight. Todd's in on the Isotopes' most meaningless series of the year, Jeff. This week for Albuquerque baseball is all about resting and preparing for champion Las Vegas to start the second PCL half next week. Where's the season gone? Where's the summer gone? Mid-June, almost July. Where is it gone? Goes so fast every year. Is it meaningless? I don't know. You can listen to that meaningless game tonight here on the Sports Animal. Josh Sushan will bring it to you live from beautiful Tacoma, Washington. Text line says, Jeff, in regard to quarterback Russell Wilson, when he was with the Broncos, his performance was very lackluster at best. I'd rather watch the other veteran quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. Russet Potato Wilson just ain't going to get it done for the Giants. Thanks, fellas. It's from John in the Duke City. Oh, yeah, happy Juneteenth. JJ, you point out his numbers, and I think most of us, when you tell us he's 500 quarterback over the last couple of years, surprising. And his numbers, his stats are not horrible, correct?
Well, the Giants didn't sign Russell Wilson on the cheap with the expectations that this is how they're beating the Commanders. They know Jackson Dart is the future. But as an organization, they have 2 veteran quarterbacks in place where they do not want to start Jackson Dart week 1. And I'm okay with that because I'd look at Jackson Dart, and he doesn't have the feel of some of those other guys that like has to start week 1.
Yeah, but I'm going to hit week, 7, and I look at their roster and I look at their schedule, and
that's why it's perfect to have Russell Wilson.
Yeah, no, I'm down, because I think Russell Wilson should start. I do, or if Jameis beats him out, then Jameis Wilson should start. I wonder who will they go to if in fact they feel they need to make a change. And I'm predicting this just because, again, like I told you, where I am with Russ. But I just where I am with the rest of that roster. Do you think how good are the Giants? I mean, let's just say you put Jared Goff on the Giants. How good are the Giants? Right?
They have 3 top-tier pass rushers.
Okay.
If they put together a competent defense, like that's a 7-win team
possible. Yeah. All right. We got another hour to go. 505-246-0610. Emails Jeff at sportsanimallabq.com. JJ at sportsanimallabq.com. You've heard a lot of talk about the college football playoff and how we're going to get to 16 in the college football playoff. Well, the 10 conference commissioners and Notre Dame's athletic director are in the conversation on that. How are you going to get there, and how is it going to affect everybody else? It's the opening drive. He is J.J. Buck. I am Jeff Symbieta. It's 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Boswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family. We are one family that share one goal, one opportunity at a time. We are one Eastern.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action.
Sports Animal. Now it's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. Here's Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Opening up a Thursday third hour for you. Oklahoma City, Indiana tonight. Game 6 NBA Finals. Oklahoma City is on top of the Pacers 3-2. The latest that we've seen on Tyrese Halliburton, the star for the Indiana Pacers, is he has a calf strain and is questionable and may or may not play. Everything tells me he will play. I firmly, he will play, and how well will he play, how much will he play, is going to be up to his head coach, Rick Carlisle. But any star, and I got to believe any player that gets to this point is going to, if he can, he's going to go give it a run. If he's unable to contribute, then I think they go somewhere else. But there's no way he doesn't start. College baseball's World Series final is set. It'll be LSU and Coastal Carolina. Stanley Cup got dinged up during celebration. Stunner. Lakers have been sold to the group that owns the Dodgers, and the Rockies have won 4 in a row. I mean, what a country, huh? What a country. All right, I want to one other basketball thing before we get into the college stuff. Did you see the story that Kevin Durant evidently blocked a trade that would have sent him to the Timberwolves? Sporting News is reporting this. NBA's writer Matt Moore said that Durant nixed the trade. And you know that Minnesota's wanted Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant's going to get traded. I don't think anybody anticipates that he will still be in Phoenix. the Minnesota Timberwolves evidently put together a deal. They brought in the Nets as the third team. Matt Moore writes for Hardwood Paroxysm. I don't even know what that is. But anyway, he wrote, league sources have said the Nets were brought in as a potential third team in a deal. That would include Phoenix and Minnesota. It would have helped move money and contracts to help both teams reshape their rosters, but then KD did what is in his right and sent out word that he does not want to play there. Is it in his right? I mean, I've been under the impression the whole time that the Suns are going to go out and get the best deal they can for Kevin Durant. That he doesn't, I know he doesn't have a no trade clause. Now, it's in his right to say, I will not sign an extension there. And I got to believe that would be part of the deal that whomever it is that is acquiring Kevin Durant is going to require, if I'm going to give up all these assets, I want an extension. I want to know that he's going to be here for a while.
Yeah, it could be something that Kevin Durant is using to try to manipulate the situation. The extension.
Get to where he wants, which he said is either San Antonio, Houston, or Miami. Okay. So that's something to just watch, because I think that goes down here in the next few days. All right, the 10 FBS conferences, their commissioners and the athletic director at Notre Dame. Got a presentation from Rich Clark, who is an impressive individual and is the executive director of the College Football Playoff. And they got data analysis about adjustments and selection committee criteria and all this effort to salvage the committee's role and appease the Big Ten and the SEC. The Big Ten wants a playoff access that's more like the NFL structure, determined through automatic qualifiers based on conference standings, which would limit the subjectivity of the selection committee. The Big Ten also supports all four leagues, including the SEC and the ACC and the Big 12, to play 9 conference games like the Big 12 and the Big 10 do. The SEC is going another way. They moved away from such a playoff format. Their coaches publicly pushed back against it 3 weeks ago at their meetings. They now are working towards a format that provides a bigger at-large pool. That's that 16-team model with 5 automatic qualifiers for conference champions and then 11 at-large selections, the 5+11. JJ, they brought in a Google mathematician, a university math professor. The presentation included the creation of a strength of record metric to more heavily weight a team's strength of schedule, conference strength, and in particular their non-conference games. Wherever this ends up, I feel like it's almost predetermined now we're going to 16, right? Do you believe that?
Oh, yeah. They want as many at-large slots as possible.
Well, the SEC does.
Yes.
The Big Ten wants 4 guaranteed spots. And what they did with the mathematicians is they tried to show, look, in almost every year, you're going to get your 4. You're going to get your 4. Here's how it's going to play out. We've gone back and done the historical data, and your teams, it's going to be Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State, and Nebraska, or Washington, or Oregon, or USC, or whomever. It's going to be Alabama and Auburn and Georgia and LSU. And then we'll give a slot to the Group of 5 team, and we'll give a slot to the Big 12 and the ACC, and then there's going to be Notre Dame's going to get in every 2 out of 3 years, whatever the number is going to be. JJ, I don't mind the 5+. If we're going to go to 16, 5+11 seems the right way to me. 5 conference champions, the 5 highest ranked conference champions, so it'll typically protect all 4 power conferences, and then the highest ranked Group of 6 champion, and then the next 11 teams, regardless of conference. And it's if that means 7 SEC teams, then it might. If that means 6 Big Ten teams, then it might. As opposed to has to be 4 from the SEC, has to be 4 from the Big Ten. That's 8. Has to be 2 from the ACC, has to be 2 from the Big 12. That's 12. That leaves 3 at larges. I'm all about the 5+11. If this is where we're going.
If it goes to 16, that's the route I like the best for college football.
Now, I don't love the 16. I'm not going to lie to you.
And how quickly they jumped.
Yeah.
It was just the access. Wanting to be in the playoffs. And, oh, man, you can open this up, and then more teams have a chance to win a championship. Let's get our 6 SEC schools in there, and let's go.
Yeah, I don't love it. I don't know that we need that. And, again, I just feel that the whole system is reacting, and I believe overreacting, to a sample size of one. We've had 1 year of the 12-team playoff. And because there were so many non-competitive games early, somehow throwing more mediocrity in there is going to make it more competitive and make it more compelling. Like, there was a drastic distinction between the top 4 teams, the 4 teams that made it to the semifinal, and the other 8 teams. Was there not? I mean, it played out that way. Now, I'm not telling you those other 8 teams shouldn't have been in the playoff, although we can argue that there weren't 12 playoff-worthy teams last year. But again, it's a sample size of 1. And so I would have liked to have seen that format play out for X number of years. It won't. But I'm not sure I believe that adding more teams is somehow going to help this system.
No one cares about helping the system. They just want to be in the system.
They want the access. They want the money. Yeah, I'm well aware. And that makes me think you're doing it for the wrong reason. That's all I'm saying. But like I said a long time ago, I think we're going to look back 5 or 10 years and say, what did we do to college athletics? And I think we're doing that. I mean, is college sports better that Stanford and Cal are in a different league than USC and UCLA? And none of them are West Coast-based leagues? No. Are we in a better place now because we've split up rivalries all over the country? I mean, no. But we do it because everybody wants that access. Because everybody wants the money. Everybody I want it now. No, I get it. I just don't know that it doesn't matter what I think, but I just don't know that I love it. All right, 505-246-0610 is how to get in today. 505-246-0610. Your emails are coming in. Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com and JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. The hype on Michigan's young quarterback is big. He was the number 1 ranked recruit. Lobos just may see him in the opener. You're going to learn a little bit more about him when you come back. It is the opening drive on 95.9 FM at AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Blue Bell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Everguard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Everguard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal. Michigan's quarterback, Bryce Underwood, 6'4", 210. You're going to learn about him. Maybe you'll learn about him on opening day. I guess he'll be the quarterback opening day. When the Lobos go to the big house, I bet this guy's going to be there as well. 24606. And what do you when the Lobos play Michigan? Rudy's with us on these Sports Animal. Good morning, sir. Who do you root for?
Who am I for?
Yeah. What do you wear that day?
Man, well, I'm going to wear New Mexico stuff, and I look at it this way. You know, Michigan's had their day in the sun. I'd like to see UNM's day in the sun. Would that be just the most unbelievable, mind-blowing thing in the world?
Yes.
That they figured out a way to go in there and beat Michigan?
Well, with a first-time coach, with a brand-new team, yes. What do you think the spread's going to be? Like, what would be enough for you to bet New Mexico?
Oh, gosh, it would have to be at least 35 points. But, you know, the thing about Michigan, and I know this from being an alumni and going to a lot of games there, they're not a program that runs up the score. If they have the game in hand, they don't run up the score. They're not Ohio State. They have a lot more class than that. And so I would think that, you know, if it's like 38-3 going into the fourth quarter, they'd call off the dogs. But and Sherrone Moore has seemed like that, but you don't know. And especially in these days where, you know, margin of victory is, I guess, one of those metrics that they're using now.
Yeah.
I've never been a fan of that. You know, the object is to win the game. Doesn't matter by how many points.
So
but
you
that's all
will
coming about because of Vegas.
You will wear your Lobo gear have you ever gone to a game at Michigan Stadium and not had a block M on you?
No, and you know, I was teasing Scott Cregan over at Graphic Connection that I might have him make me a shirt that says New Michigan.
Yeah.
And half of it's red and the other half's blue or yellow.
Yeah. That's maize.
Then
it's not yellow.
Everybody will know maize.
It's
yeah.
maize.
Everybody will know that my loyalties aren't divided. Hey, I wanted to put a bug in people's ears and I don't know if we've said enough about it, but how many conferences and schools can boast a top 10 finish at the national championships?
In track and field, I believe one. I believe it's only one.
Yeah, and you know what that is remarkable, and it shows you what coaching and a few resources can do. And if we could ever get to the point in this state where we realize that if we just fed football a little more, it could do really well. And I'm hoping Eck is the guy. I really am. You know, I think he has the personality that can drive some people to parting with their hard-earned money. And when you were talking earlier, you know, the billions and billions of dollars that's in professional sports, and it seems like in college sports some colleges can't rub two nickels together, and it's because of fan support. It all comes down to the fans at the end of the day. So if we can motivate some people to get out to the stadium this fall, I'm really hoping, because everything I've seen about Jason Eck tells me that he's a winner and that he's going to win here, and I'd like to be in a position to see how long we can keep him.
Well, I'd like to see him get to that position where you got to worry about it, right?
I think we're going to get there quicker than you think. They got some kids coming in this weekend that are
well, they had a bunch
top-notch.
last weekend too, and they're still recruiting. And I spent some time with one of the assistant coaches. I told the story the other day, but the kids that they're getting in here, for the most part, they're signing. He was saying the biggest issue, and you face this, I think we've all faced this, he says, is getting the parents over the perception of Albuquerque, the outside perception. Bob Davey used to talk about this all the time, and Danny used to fight it. It's getting, he says, once you get them here, they realize, wow, this place is beautiful. Like, you got crime, I don't care where you came from, you got crime in Huntington Beach, or you got crime in Denver or Dallas or LA or wherever you came from. But they get here and they realize.
Did you hear Spence Nowinski? I didn't mean to cut you off, but did you hear Spence Nowinski?
I did not.
On the pit press?
No.
He talked about living in Memphis.
Yep.
Memphis is horrible.
Well,
people think Albuquerque's bad. It's bad.
I'm not looking to bring anybody else down by saying Albuquerque is not what people perceive it to be. And look, does this place have to get better? Are there issues that have to be addressed in this town? Yeah, but every coach has fought it, and the fact that this coaching staff is already talking about it and trying to fight through the recruiting issue, and just to get people to come and take a visit has been, they basically said that's our biggest recruiting issue. Once they get here, once they meet the staff, once they see our facilities, like outside of the stadium itself, the facilities are not horrible. In fact, they're pretty good compared to your peer institutions.
Yeah, so we just got to keep working. And we got to address our issues, and we have to make sure that we talk better about ourselves. And I think that's the bottom line, too. You hear people in Phoenix, there's a lot of crime in Phoenix. I saw it when I was there.
It's everywhere.
But they don't talk about it.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
They don't talk about it. That's the difference.
Yeah, they
anyway,
don't celebrate.
I appreciate you guys so much. And, I don't know if you know this, Jeff, but today I just turned 70 years old.
Happy birthday, young fella. Happy birthday.
20 years of it spent with you at the New Mexico Bowl, and that's just been a gas.
Appreciative of that. No, happy birthday. Go celebrate and enjoy today.
Thanks. Appreciate you.
JJ, look, it led me down a path I wasn't going to go, but I'll hit this. You got to take control of the story. You got to take control of your own narrative, whether it's individually, right? When you're trying to sell yourself for a career, to get a job, to move up, you sell yourself in a relationship, right? At some point, whenever you met your significant other, or if you're out dating, you sell yourself, right? You tell your story. And I firmly believe as a community and as a state, we've got to sell ourselves. We got to, I don't mean to get political, and maybe we go over to News Radio KKOB and have this conversation, but JJ, I think we do a really poor job sometimes, of allowing other people to control the narrative about our state and our city. Now, we also do a poor job sometimes of fixing our problems. We got issues just like everybody else does. But I think Visit Albuquerque and New Mexico, the Truth and New Mexico Tourism Department do a great job telling a good story. But, when I hear my daughter tell me stories about what people think of or don't know about New Mexico and Albuquerque, in Michigan, like I told you the other day, one dude thought they made the place from Breaking Bad a real place. But when you get here, there's good things here, man. And you can talk bad all you want, and we complain. And I got friends in San Diego that complain, and friends in LA that complain, and friends in Texas. Like life is real. But this coaching staff is fighting it, and they found it the very first time, right? First time out. The biggest challenge is getting people here. Once you get them on campus, they seem to love the place.
I feel like that's probably over 50% of college athletics.
You think so?
Yeah. I couldn't name more than maybe 3 or 4 towns in Michigan. I don't know every city or where these colleges are. Like, I know college names, but I don't know exact locations of all these towns.
Yeah, if I said to you, what do you think, Ann Arbor's like? Or what do you think? You probably don't have an impression, and maybe it's Breaking Bad. Maybe Breaking Bad was the greatest and worst thing that ever happened to this town. It could be the greatest and the worst at the same time. Because people think that's just the way the place is. That's fair. Yeah, if you don't know about something, you only know what you know, right? And that's why I think we got to do a better job of telling our own story. Whatever that means. Maybe that means on an individual basis when you talk about it or whatever. Yeah, we got problems, man. And so does everybody else. We celebrate our crime more than anywhere I've ever seen. And what do I mean by that? I grew up in a big city. Los Angeles is a big city. They got crime. But I don't ever recall every night watching the news and telling me about every single murder and counting them down. And it's another record. And I guess it's news. But I don't know.
Doesn't look like Bob's doing anything. We should get that conversation going on over there.
Fair enough. All right, let me move this thing. Yeah, fair enough.
But it's a real question.
Yeah.
That the coaches are addressing. I think it's from UNM's standpoint. You look at, well, how do you present your message? They have a great creative team over there. So if there's Breaking Bad videos or shows out there, you can put stuff together about UNM, campus life, the facilities, send those out. Like, there's ways to do it. The conversation in the city, yeah, that's one of, should you know those things are happening? Yeah, you should. But I guess because you don't want to hide it.
That's correct. No, nobody's going to run from it. It's real. I just, there's a lot of other things that are real too. All right, I'm off of it. 505-246-0610. Emails Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com. You got some comments on the Bus family selling the Lakers. Want to get into that. Latest on the NBA Finals tonight. WNBA has looked at the situation. Man, what a crazy night between the Sun and the Fever the other day. It wasn't just the Caitlin Clark issue, although that's the one that made, it was on the NBC Nightly News, and they're all talking about it. But the WNBA, do they have a problem? Do they have something that they've got to corral? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Roswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family. We are one family that share one goal, one opportunity at a time. We are One Eastern.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. Located on ProView Networks.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
This young man out of high school, because it just feels like this is going to be the rare thing.
I don't think it's going to be rare.
How does Oregon
Because I think it's the top few quarterbacks in the rankings. The top 5 are going to have opportunities like this. Then there's still going to be plenty of poaching. But when we're talking, number 1 overall recruit, still going to these big schools, I don't think they're going to be scared to start them. But I think what you're looking at for Michigan is they feel this is an next level guy, because they didn't to bring in a dude from East Carolina as your other quarterback, really.
They just did that, right? And they got the kid
that's
from
not
Fresno.
saying that we're bringing in someone because we're not sure about this freshman. No, they're all in on this dude as being the starting quarterback from day one for Michigan.
Well, Mikey Keene's there too, right? From Fresno State. I look at Oregon and how they compete every year, and it's literally finding a quarterback from Oklahoma or somewhere every single year, because I don't know that you feel that you can keep a guy. Like Diego Pavia said, we heard earlier today, he's at Vanderbilt, and he said he had a $4.5 million offer, and he stayed at Vanderbilt. I mean, Diego. Well, what's Diego Pavia worth to you? And evidently it's $4.5 million if you got it, and he said it was in the SEC. I don't know where. Does he make that much of a difference? Obviously he does. Ask Vanderbilt. I wonder what Vanderbilt's paying him. If he stayed at Vanderbilt for $4.5 million, past $4.5 million. Now I know he and Jerry Kill are tight. Jerry Kill's still there, and Jerry Kill's a big reason why he's there. Because remember when he went over there too, we were like, he's not even going to play there. They got the transfer quarterback from Utah as well. Same time that Diego went from New Mexico State to Vanderbilt. They have the quarterback from Utah went over there, and you're like, well, he's not even going to play. Well, yeah, he kind of played. It's fascinating to me in some respects. All right, I'm looking at this revenue sharing piece too. So the Florida Board of Governors approved an amendment yesterday which allows state universities, the state Florida Board of Governors, allow their state universities to allocate up to $22.5 million in auxiliary funds to athletics. This helps cover revenue sharing obligations tied to the House settlement. The board approved the measure, which will remain in effect through 2028, which is kind of the opposite of what the New Mexico state legislature did, right? They approved some money, but wasn't there a condition? They made a language change during the session in New Mexico, if I recall this correctly, and I'm pretty sure I do, that money could not go directly to paying the student athletes, not towards revenue sharing. This is absolutely the antithesis of that. So the Florida Board of Governors oversees 12 universities. 6 of those schools have FBS teams: Florida, Florida Atlantic, FIU, Florida State, South Florida, and UCF. This amendment is pretty significant for Florida State, which is expected to receive an additional $15 to $20 million annually as part of its legal settlement with the ACC. So that boosts their financial flexibility during this time. I find this compelling because we've had this argument, this conversation, this discussion. It feels like countless times around here. And there's a faction of you who say the state's got to help more. State's got to help. And then there's others of you who say, hell no, stop throwing money at football or whatever. And I look at Florida, and granted, Florida State are playing a different game than New Mexico is. But are they? Their state board of governors said, I'll tell you what, you can allocate money towards revenue sharing. It's just a completely different way to think, and it leads me to say that's why they're successful and maybe not so much here.
Yeah, I think it's a state that realizes whatever their overall budget is, if they're investing these much in the universities, athletics is a part of it. This is a new way to set yourself apart. And this is saying, okay, here you go for 3 years. You can pull from this pool as everyone figures stuff out.
Yeah, they realize that it's significant. They realize that it's important.
And that's a state with pro teams, with the Stanley Cup champion.
Mm-hmm.
And so, let's do this for our college athletics.
There's 3 NFL teams in that state. There's 2 National Hockey League teams in that state. There's 2 NBA teams in that state. 2 Major League Baseball teams in that state. They kind of get it. Well, all right, I hit you on this too, the WNBA. So you saw, I'm certain you saw the issue with Caitlin Clark the other day. Indiana versus Connecticut in the WNBA. I mean, it literally was on Fox News, CNN. You got wars going on all over the world, and they're showing Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham going at it, and J.C. Sheldon. The WNBA reviewed the tape. There was the other scuffle. I don't know if you saw the other one that went on later. It was the final minute. 3 players got ejected. So they upgraded Sophie Cunningham to a flagrant 2, disqualified her for a hard foul. Marina Mabry's technical foul for forcibly bumping Caitlin Clark has been upgraded to a flagrant 2. So I think she got fined $400 for her upgrade to a flagrant 2. Does the WNBA, I don't want, JJ, it's hard basketball, and I don't want to say women shouldn't be this physical because I'm not going to be that guy. It's basketball. And I don't watch enough to know, and I don't know that you do either. Do they have more of this going on than the NBA does? And is it happening in games that do not involve Caitlin Clark?
Not to this extent. This is still going after Caitlin Clark and trying to set a tone with Caitlin Clark.
How do you... All right, let me ask you, I'll ask this 2-pronged. Do you need to solve/fix this? Maybe you don't think there's a problem. Maybe people are watching to see people go after Caitlin Clark. I don't know. And if you believe that you do need to do something, how do you do it?
It's on the officials. For an instance, like the other night where it was, all right, there's a smack in the face, there's a little shove that happens.
The smack in the face was a defensive play. Her hand got high.
Yeah, and Caitlin Clark was walking away, and there's a little shove. Okay. But it's when the other player from the Sun ran up and sent Clark to the floor, that's the moment you're going to say, okay, that's not just physical basketball going at it. That's outside the bounds of play, which is flagrant territory, and that's when the ref needs to be like, all right, this isn't just double technicals, you're out of the game. Because that's not just a hard foul going at it. if it's Caitlin Clark versus one person, they have a little back and forth. That happens all the time. But it's when the other player comes over and goes, oh, that's Caitlin Clark, I'm going to put her on the floor after the play is over and she's walking away. It's on the officials to handle those moments.
Does everybody think they're going to make a name for themselves if they go after Caitlin Clark?
Yeah, they know that that's a game everyone is going to see headlines from.
Does it help your brand if you're a tough guy and put Caitlin Clark on the ground? Or does it hurt your brand? Because I look at it and like, with all due respect, I didn't know who the hell Marina Mabry or J.C. Sheldon was before 2 days ago. I've said their names way more than and everybody else. I mean, their names are all over. So does it help their brand?
Well, it's at some point in time too. It's sport, and I think what it happened a lot last year. It's people are scared of physical women, and it's like the hip check, and people are like, oh, I need to throw this girl out of the league. Like, okay, no, that's just like flagrant foul, move on type of stuff. But it's still women can't act like that. I think there's still a lot of that with a lot of people.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, but you're rare. Like, you understand women's sports. Not a lot of people do.
Well,
and for the league too, I understand where your referees need to set a tone, but then you just can't coddle Caitlin Clark also. Like, and so that's where it comes to the referee. When you see, all right, there was an instance between these two players, we're moving on. Someone else comes over and just blows it up. All right, you're out of the game. Let's move on.
I think you've just defined the line, though, right? Because I agree with you. You cannot coddle Caitlin Clark. But can you go too far the other way and while you're trying to not coddle her, let things get to the point where every damn game we're having, or every other game we're having a
like
scuffle?
that instance when someone comes over, sends a player to the floor that's not looking, that wasn't in a physical altercation at the moment with someone else, is kind of the hold me back stuff. That player immediately is kicked out of the game.
So we used to have Jordan rules. I mean, Shaq had, like, LeBron gets calls. Superstars get calls. Superstars earn favorable calls. I don't want to use the word protection because it's not the right word, but understanding that, I mean, do we understand that people are going after Caitlin Clark? I mean, you and I see
everyone sees that. The league sees that.
So how? Okay, so,
and it's how you do it. You tell your referees,
yeah,
if someone goes over the top like that, throw them out of the game because that's beyond the course of play.
Well, I think the answer is you need to make it penal enough. So if you were, and this $400 fine is cute, and I understand it's a percentage of what they get paid, and you're used to seeing fines in the NBA of $20,000, $50,000, whatever it is, and that because they're making millions and these ladies aren't. So I understand it's percentage-wise, and I don't have a problem with that. But I think you need to make it penal enough that if you're going to go after her, then you're going, or anybody else, but certainly her, you are going to get suspended. Something's going to happen that's penal that you got to think twice about.
I agree with that, and you want it to where you understand Caitlin Clark drives the WNBA, that she is that crossover star.
And these women,
but then you also, but that also means you still want the edge. You want the back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Villains in sports matter. LeBron James is polarizing because so many people hate him.
100%. So where's the fine line? And they got to figure it out.
Yeah, and it's not. I'm not saying you need to hate Steph Curry, but you need that passion. You need that energy. And if you want to go after Caitlin Clark, just like players when they step on the floor, if you want to go after LeBron or you name it, you have to have it. And the line is when it's non-basketball stuff that happens, you throw players out of the game.
How do you feel she is handled? Because every time out there, man, and she's getting rough way more than everybody else is. Because I feel that she's handled it pretty well. But, man, if I'm getting poked in the eye and hit, and at some point I'm a snap too. You know what I mean?
And how she handles it, she is the LeBron James of talking to referees.
Okay. I don't watch enough to know that.
You know how you feel about LeBron James?
Yeah.
That's Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
After every play. So she's on the refs the entire game.
All right.
Just trying to get them to go like, hey, what are they doing?
But she is kind of getting her ass kicked out there, no? I mean,
every player feels that way.
Yeah,
But
fair enough.
We've seen her after basketball plays be given a lot of extra.
505-246-0610. When you come back, we will wrap you up, get you everything you got to know as you go through your Juneteenth. Emails are still coming in. Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com. And JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. Where are you watching the finals tonight? Where are you watching your baseball? Where are you watching your sports? Twin Peaks is a great spot. NBA Finals are going on right now. Every second is on the big screens. Wall-to-wall TVs everywhere. 29-degree drafts. Mouth-watering eats. Wings and burgers and flatbreads. Name it, they got it. It's all hot and ready for you. So grab your crew, order a bucket, settle in for the finals all the way through the final buzzer. Could be tonight because it's championship season and there's no better place to be than at Twin Peaks. Late nights are great at Twin Peaks as well. 10 o'clock till close, Sunday through Thursday. Hand-stretched flatbreads, just $8. Baked fresh, loaded with flavor. Perfect for those late-night cravings. And when you pair it with something from their rare bourbon collection, talking hard-to-find bourbons, barrel selects, hand-picked by their team, top-shelf tequilas that are worth sipping slow. So whether you're winding down the night, just getting started, there's no better place than Twin Peaks. Kick back, stay late, and taste the difference.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Roswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family. We are one family that share one goal, one opportunity at a time. We are One Eastern.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420.
Through your day. Well, you know, Game 6 of the NBA Finals is tonight. Oklahoma City and Indiana. That's a 6:30 start tonight. LSU and Coastal Carolina are going to play for the College Baseball World Series. Lakers have been sold to the group that owns the Dodgers. Shedeur Sanders got it pulled over going over 100 miles an hour in Ohio, and the Rockies have won 4 in a row. It's the opening drive. Jeff Sibbieta, J.J. Buck, 505-246-0610. Brian, good morning. You're on The Sports Animal. How you doing?
Good, man. Have you guys heard any updates on the Mountain West and the Pac-12 legal issues?
No. I mean, it's the 5th week of mediation. It's going on. It sounds like the Pac-12, and look, they're running out of time. It's with July 19th today. They've got to figure out, get their new member, have them accepted, and have their new member give notice to their current conference by the end of the month to be able to play next year. By every report, it's going to be Texas State. And then, expect a media deal. But as far as where this thing goes, no. Everybody is squeaky silent on this thing. And it's just been sealed tight. And, everybody's got a read on it. But no, that mediation, to the best of our knowledge, has been going on now almost 5 full weeks.
Okay, yeah, I was just wondering. I've been surfing the internet. I'm like, I can't find anything more recent than a week or two ago on it. So
yeah, no, there's nothing there, and you keep waiting for them to say that we've settled, or what I'm assuming, Brian, is, and I've talked to a couple athletic directors in the Mountain West, that the Mountain West has a floor, and they're not going to negotiate below it. And whatever if that number is 115 million, 120 million, whatever the number is, I don't know, and that's probably where they are, and the Pacs. They're trying to wait each other out. Who needs to get this settled more? So,
yeah, hats off to the Mountain West. I think they've got a good case.
I do too. I absolutely do. All right, man.
All righty. Have a good day.
Yeah, and JJ, this thing, it's so vital. The news is being made by the Pac-12 because they're the ones who need to make news. Right? They're the ones who have got to get an 8th football playing school by July 1st. To have one for next year, to be a Division I or an FBS conference. And I got to believe the Texas State's holding out a little bit on them, saying we're not going to take a half share. You need us. You want to stay in the Sun Belt? Well, fine. We'll stay in the Sun Belt. Where I hear from North Texas is they're not going. There's been a little bit of whisper, on the UNLV front, because if the Mountain West doesn't get the money, how are they going to keep UNLV? But I don't think UNLV is leaving. For the Pac, anyway. The Memphis stuff, that Memphis might play football in the Pac and take their other sports to the Big East, but I'm not sure the Big East is racing around to give Memphis that.
Doesn't sound like it.
Tulane doesn't seem to want to go there. UTSA and North Texas are in the American. You're not going to give them a full share, and it sounds like a full share is going to be like $8 million. Well, then why would they leave the American? It makes no sense. So the Pac is sitting there, and they got 7. The Sacramento State thing was really interesting because it sounds like their request to move up to FBS in football is going to get denied. So where do they go? Meanwhile, the mediation continues. And Media Day is going to be interesting, man, because I don't think there's an animosity between the coaches and that kind of stuff, right? I mean, you think the San Diego State coach is mad at New Mexico, or New Mexico's coach is mad, right? They didn't make the decisions. Spencer Danielson at Boise State look down on Nevada.
No, I think it'll be fine between the coaches. It's definitely Probably administrators and then the family.
Yeah. No, and the fan base is certainly. And the fan base, this whole we're better than you and we got rid of you and you're bottom feeding asses and we don't need, all that crap.
A bunch of catfish over here.
It's crazy, isn't it? But all right, who you got tonight? You got Oklahoma City. Is it ended? I think it ends tonight. I do.
OKC parade on deck.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of where I was. I'll stay with it. I had Oklahoma City in 6, and so I'll stay with it. I think Tyrese Halliburton plays. He starts. He struggles. I think his minutes in the second half will be very, very limited. It's going to depend also how much, what are you getting out of either. Somebody else has to pick up that slack. So is it T.J. McConnell? I'm going to guess it's going to be Mathurin tonight. I think it's a Benedict Mathurin game a little bit. But somebody's going to have to pick up those minutes and pick up that slack and pick up that scoring. But I got Oklahoma City tonight, and I think you do too, right?
I do. If Tyrese Halliburton cannot be effective, he can't be aggressive, if he can't score, he scores 20 or more points, they are in a great place. And if he can't get to that, I don't see them being able to make that up.
I'd like to see Indiana win tonight. I'd like to see a Game 7. I love me some Game 7s. But I'm not sure I see where that comes from tonight. Also today, keep your eye on the Durant stuff because that's getting close, I think. And then who knows, man? News has just been dropping out of the air. Like the Lakers story came out of nowhere yesterday. And that was the biggest story in sports yesterday, don't you think? It was the Lakers being sold? I mean, just because, where the hell did that come from?
Seismic.
I agree with that. No, I agree with that. And then, are we going to get something on the college football playoffs? And are we going to get something on the mediation between the Pac-12 and the Mountain West? So all that's out there. Keep watching for it. We'll have baseball for you tonight here on The Sports Animal. Isotopes are in Tacoma. They were winners last night, 8-6. They're playing the Seattle Mariners, AAA club. And so we'll have that. What's that, like a 7:30 start tonight? Late one, huh? Because they're on the West Coast. Tomorrow we'll be back in here looking at what happens with the NBA. Are we celebrating a champion? Are we now talking about the potential of a dynasty and how?
Run it back.
Yeah, pardon me if I'll be a little bit tapping the brakes on that. Like I said, you got to win one before it's a dynasty, and if they win one tonight, do you start talking dynasty? Pardon me if I'm going to be a little bit easy on that. It'll be the 7th different champion in 7 years, and how hard it is, and with pieces moving in the NBA, and as quickly and as frantically as pieces moving in the NBA, I don't know when we could have that conversation if we need to have that conversation tomorrow. All right, 505-246-0610. Put in your phone. You're always able to get to us that way. Anything else I missed today? I'm just looking through your list. I think we hit almost all of it, right? Good stuff today. You got 2 more. Is tomorrow Friday?
It's Friday.
All right, Kenny Thomas will be here tomorrow too, right? We'll kick it with Kenny as well. Then you got one more day and you're on vacation, dude. Like vacation eve for you.
Can't wait.
The Herd with Colin Cowherd is next. The Jim Rome show's after that. 2 Men On's in at 4. You get Isotopes baseball against Tacoma after that. Then we're back tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock in the morning with award-winning radio here on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal. Adrian, I know you're fighting it over there. Thank you for fighting it. Thanks for keeping us on the air. Great work. He is JJ Buck. I am Jeff Symbieta. Big day for you?
Huge day.
Enjoy it. Be good to each other, please, boys and girls. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll smell you tomorrow.
Or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot. It's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Blue Bell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services.